Hello everyone who have joined us recently, and thank you for all who are staying with us already. We are very happy to see all of you on our BA Excellence Conference today. And I'm very proud to announce our BA expert, Dmytro Lozovytskyi.
Hello guys.
Hello Dmytro today, and Jan Mazurek.
Hello everyone, happy to be here today on the conference.
Business analyst experts who will share us today very interesting topic, modern trends of business analysis, what to know, how to use. Welcome, the stage is yours.
Hello guys, hello dear fans of business analysis, and guys, when we were preparing our topic with Jan, I really thought about something new, yeah. And everyone knows that this year has some kind of headliner, AI usage, and or use AI, yeah. We decided, to provide to you guys the latest trends, some kind of statistic information that you can use for yourself and for your projects with maximum level of with maximum level of productivity, we can say, yeah. And
however, we decided also just to not make it only this as a boring lecture and presentation, but we would like to also use our experience and have an open discussion between Dmytro and myself on those topics, just because whereas it's nice to have a nice presentation, it's also nice to have a conversation, to have it more interactive, and also to engage you into asking us any questions. So we very much encourage each and every one of you to raise any questions that you might have throughout the presentation.
Absolutely. So you're welcome, guys. Please note your questions. Please place your questions in chat. Don't shy. And we, I think, with our pleasure, going to provide the answers on them. So I think that we need to say a couple of words about ourselves. And I can say that both of us are business analysts, first of all, but not only. And Jan, pass the word to you, please. You're welcome.
Yes, hello everyone. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jan Mazurek. I'm a business analyst with nearly 20 years of experience in IT. And I came across the topic of machine learning already about in 2007, 2008, so quite a long time ago, where in one of my companies I worked in the past, I came across a person to whom I would like to give a big shout out, Dr. Andrzej Buller, who an amazing personality with 2 PhDs in automatics and robotics and in psychology, who was working on already machine learning algorithms in the Institute of Kyoto in Japan. Coming across him and working with him on a couple of IT projects was definitely a very big eye opener. And I already back then, 15 years ago, I saw the huge potential in the machine learning projects. And now with the artificial intelligence taking the next step, I think it will be also useful to look deeper into that, how we as the business analysts can utilize that. So today we will be sharing with you a couple of ideas, couple of examples, and a couple of use cases from our past projects, but no spoilers just yet. Welcome to this talk. And Dmytro, could you also introduce yourself to our audience?
Thank you very much, Jan. So I'm Dmytro Lozovytskyi, also business analyst, and not only. Actually, in my past, I had very broad and deep experience with in different roles at the projects. So I conducted the roles of business analyst, project manager, head of PMO office, product owner, for sure, proxy product owner, some partial activity of product manager and delivery manager as well. So I like to collect something new on the edge, where different areas have the borders, and I like to combine new knowledge and to try something new on brand. For sure, guys, as you know, maybe previously from my side, I also like to share the knowledge with you, with our colleagues. So what else? I have a PhD in economic science, and my general experience in IT area is up to 10 years right now. But before that, I had actually very cool experience in consulting as well. So I think we can start.
Yes. Definitely.
So we have the next content, or next agenda for today, guys. With Jan, we divided our speech into 4 parts. First 2 parts just have information about trends, use cases, as Jan mentioned. And the next 2 parts, in the next 2 parts, we're going to speak with you guys about the pros and cons of AI usage or machine learning usage and must-have skills for business analysts. In that case, when a business analyst wants to work with AI. And I think that the right moment to start our part about trends from straightforward differences between AI and machine learning. So you see this information on the screen, guys, and we're trying to use some kind of open sources, but authority sources that provide just checked information about that. And as you can see, guys, we have 2 options here, artificial intelligence characteristics and machine learning characteristics. And if you're going to speak about the artificial intelligence characteristics, from that list, I want to highlight a couple of them. First of all, we need to use artificial intelligence and focus our work on decision-making process. Why? Because artificial intelligence help us actually to prepare some information, to analyze some information, and to provide some kind of aspects for the best decision-making process. By the way, artificial intelligence just use structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data. In compare, for example, with machine learning mechanism and or algorithms. And also AI requires minimum human intervention. This is really, I can say, tricky question right now, but general tendency is the next that I mentioned. Yep. So minimum human intervention, and you can see, guys, some kind of examples here. See translation software like Google Translate, Google Assistant, chatbots, you know that, etc.
However, we need to also keep in mind one very important aspect, that it is still the, let's say, beginning or fairly early stages of advanced artificial intelligence, and all of that still can be evolving and still can move forward, same as with the evolvement of the machine learning algorithms. So Dmytro mentioned about the fact that the AI is capable of using unstructured, semi-structured, or fully structured data. Machine learning has that limitation that if you want to make sure that we get some benefit of the machine learning algorithms, that data needs to be already structured in a certain way, so that we would be able to teach the prediction of our algorithms. That's the situation for today. What will be tomorrow? What will be in a couple of years? We don't know that, but we can believe and assume safely, I guess, that if we will merge together the artificial intelligence with the machine learning, the result can be even far more beneficial. And despite the fact of at the moment we might have the limitation of machine learning usage for unstructured or semi-structured data, with the embedding of the artificial intelligence, perhaps we could have a situation in which artificial intelligence will introduce that structure and will allow us to use the machine learning algorithms more efficiently.
Yeah, absolutely. So how you can use this actually slide, guys, for yourself? Actually, you can see the difference. You can explain this difference to your clients, to your colleagues, if they want to know something new about that. So let's go forward. And you know, guys, that of course AI is a tool. First of all, AI for us is a tool. And this is a really smart tool. So we need to be smart, yep, as well, to use this tool in the most efficient manner than we can. And generally, we can say, I guess, Jan, yep, it's true that this is era of AI. Yeah, era of AI was started. And actually, you know, guys, you see this result on the screen. You see that all AI tools we can classify in two big groups. So AI tools that we can call creative AI tools and generative AI tools. And you can see pretty big list from the left part and on the left part and on the right part as well. And as you can see, the main difference is between them. The main difference between them are the next. So generative AI tools use specific algorithm and for searching information, for to generate information, etc., etc., etc. And creative AI tools use another algorithm, and they are using in design area very well in some kind of for some kind of specific tasks that where we need or to create something new, something interesting, yep, or just modify something as well. So
and here you also might wonder, actually, if you look carefully at the list of those creative and generative type of examples, why ChatGPT, for example, or DALL-E 2 is in both of those areas, right? And I came across recently a very interesting definition of the ChatGPT, that it is identified as the generative AI to enhance the creative work. And in general, it is still evolving. And despite the fact, one version of ChatGPT might be was more creative, now it's evolving towards the generative area. And Dmytro, you've mentioned about the fact that here we are now on the revolution with the artificial intelligence, and it has been. I heard this quote some time ago. I don't know whether you will agree with this or not, but artificial intelligence is the fourth industrial revolution that we are facing. We are at the age of the fourth industrial revolution, where the first one was the railroad, the second one was electricity, the third one was mass production, and now the fourth one is the artificial intelligence. What are your thoughts about that?
Absolutely, yes, Jan. I'm totally agree with that because we have 21st century society, yep, post-industrial society or information society. So that is why information is the key resource of 21st century, and especially great information. Who own this great information will own the world. So, so this is a fact, and I absolutely agree with that. Let's go
And
forward. Yeah.
and do you think that there are, of course, we will be discussing the pros and cons in regards to the artificial intelligence and machine learning, not only from the, let's say, market point of view, but also from the BA trends. However, what is your excitement level at this point and at this stage? Whether you are, excited about this revolution, or does it cause more fears at this stage?
That's a great question, Jan. And we had some discussion before, but I think that a lot of people were scared when, for example, ChatGPT just blew up this year, especially. And that was really scared for a lot of people. But right now, people started to realize the next. First of all, that this is a tool, and we need to be adaptable, definitely adaptable in that process. And we need to learn how to use ChatGPT or other AI tools in efficient manner to do our work in the best manner as well, and to be more productive and provide more results, great results than was expected. So I think that this we in next few years we will have few years. I mean, not 2 years. From 2 till 5 years, we're going to have a lot of pressure in economic area and in business area, and we need to start. Think about a couple of points. Yep. First of all, we need to be smart in that question of AI usage. We need to provide the pace of study something new, and we need to be adaptable.
Definitely. However, in regards to the skills, no spoilers yet. let's leave that for the later part. So let's get back to the presentation. Let's talk more about that division between creative and generative.
And yeah, guys, and we prepared with Jan some kind of conclusions based on the difference between creative and generative AI, and based on previous slide. So as you can see, guys, we have 2 tasks on the screen, and we have 1 conclusion. So conclusion is the next, that working with AI types depends on tasks. So please combine them in your work. We don't have right now the best option. We don't have right now the worst option. We have just the options that could be suitable in your work case. This is the main idea of AI tools usage. And please don't forget use this list in your work. So the first conclusion that we want to present based on previous slides and discussion is the next, that innovative tools can help transform your creative workflow. I know, Jan, you know a little bit more about that. So
yeah, definitely. Just wanted to mention also about combining those 2 elements, that think of it this way. Regardless which kind of process for eliciting requirements you use, it's never one at a time. Even when you conduct, for example, the workshop, you still will be asking the questions. So you'll be combining the workshop with the interviews. Even if you will be using a prioritization technique to assign a certain index of priority on the items in your backlog, if everything is a priority 1 item, you still need to distinguish one priority item from another priority item, right? So you will then use maybe bubble sorting, and you will use 2 methods at once. Same thing happens here with the artificial intelligence, right? As again, this is a brand new area that can impact our work in a positive way. Whichever way you find it useful to use, definitely be sure to apply that best to your abilities. However, also just keep in mind this critical thinking aspect in regards to the usage of the artificial intelligence. There were some cases, and we'll be talking about them slightly later as well, where there was a misuse or a too big trust put into the artificial intelligence that resulted in a negative way. But we'll be covering that just in a few minutes, so please stay with us. And still, if you have any questions, be sure to also.
And I can say that based on this first conclusion, we can highlight to you guys the second one about AI tool will help you work smarter, not harder. But for that, we need to be in the right conditions. I mean, not only physical conditions or mental conditions. You need to also care about your work conditions as well to provide ability for yourself to study again. And this is the main requirement of this time, I mean current days. And you, all of us guys, are creators. With AI tools, our creativity or possibility to create something new much higher than without. And this is true. This is new reality, and we need to approve or accept this reality by ourselves and try to go in the right direction. And let's go forward. Yep, Jan, please.
Yeah, so just what we came across when creating the presentation for you today is just a couple of ideas and couple of the usage trends for the AI in the next couple of years, or that is actually happening right now. And again, we will not be going through all of them because you might then later on refer to the recording or to see the presentation and to read them carefully. But in general, there is a couple of ways how we can actually benefit from the usage of the AI. And when for example, looking at the cost saving that you might have from artificial intelligence or machine learning, I will be talking exactly when presenting the use case about a real example, real project that I was working on that was actually targeting that area, and I will show you how exactly machine learning and artificial intelligence can help you with that. Same thing with, for example, the increase of the productivity. Now, a small. I know we should have the Q&A session at the end, but already there was a question raised in the. In our YouTube chat, and thank you so much for raising that question about the usability of the ChatGPT in regards to the BA work or product owner work. And I think it's really, for some basic tasks, basic activities, it can really help to save the time and increase the productivity just by delegating mundane tasks and pure, simple activities that we are doing towards the artificial intelligence, so that we could save time on more creative, more analytical work.
Right now, I can say that I want to add something else about efficiency. Yep, and guys, that just this half of the year, or the current half of the year, just show us that ChatGPT usage. For example, we can use ChatGPT to optimize some kind of BA's work, some techniques, some tools, to collect some information, to analyze some information, and in some of cases, we can increase efficiency up to 70%. You can imagine that. And prediction is, as you can see on the screen, as a level of prediction. Yep, in here, sorry, as a level of prediction of the increasing of productivity, efficiency, knowledge management, and knowledge transfer process. You can see, guys, these numbers are big, quite big, and this means for us that we got some kind of new, not only tool, but some kind of new approach and the way how we should rebuild our work generally. how we should rethink our work process, generally with AI usage. And in that case, we're going to increase our productivity, as Jan mentioned, and efficiency, maybe in times. For example, what else interesting we have on the screen? Actually, it's not about on the trends or percents. It's also about the time horizon, guys. I think that you mentioned that worldwide experts actually provide some kind of really short time horizon of this transformation in era of AI, 3-5 years. You can see that. And this is also some kind of trend. So all of us have just right now not so long-term corridor to transform our reality, to transform our work approach. Yep.
And I think we have prepared a couple of statistics for you when it comes to just how big the potential of the market is and how big the piece of the cake is. So just looking at these predictions and the trends that we see, that the potential revenue of the usage of the artificial intelligence just in the next 2 to 3 years is identified and estimated to be $126 billions. So the sooner we will jump on the train in regards to the usage of the artificial intelligence, the bigger piece of the cake we might have for ourselves.
And Jan, I have a question. Do you think that all of us have a chance to do that? I mean, IT guys.
Well, I think the sooner we will start shifting our career and shifting, or maybe not necessarily our career, but shifting our skills to be more aligned with the usage of the artificial intelligence, then definitely the easier will be the transition. However, it's always, as with every change, it's easy to say and much more difficult to implement.
Yep, absolutely agree. So guys, these numbers are impressive, so impressive. So you can view that, and you can see the sources, pretty authority sources that provide this information with statistic. So let's go forward. I guess we have the general picture of predictions, and we understand that we crossed this red thin line of AI era, and right now we are at the start point of that. So let's talk about a little bit. Let's talk a little bit more about our use cases, and we can start with some kind of AI usage ways. It's not just only. It's not about, guys, this is a cloud form how we can present this information, but this information should help you to see the streamline. Yep, when and where we can use AI. And actually, as you can see, pretty lot of areas or ways, not areas, but ways. Yes, it's some kind of just road with a lot of areas on that. Yeah, enhancing skills, idea generation, expanding horizons in our investigation, rapid prototyping, etc., and a lot of ways how we are using actually right now AI.
And I think also just to mention here, when looking at these ideas like rapid prototyping or analyzing the data, it shows already how you and I and everyone else working in the business analysis domain can benefit from this to actually increase our productivity and increase our efficiency. Because let's face it, not every one of us is excited to work with tons of Excel data, the CSV files, and just analyzing all of that information. But if we can, for example, somehow merge that into the machine learning or to the intelligent algorithms to identify as the patterns or identify as some trends and some statistics, then it can really help us to generate ideas that, taken from the big amount of information, the key information that we could use for our clients. That's definitely something that we can consider as a benefit, just to delegate again the boring mundane task and focus on this that really excites us and makes our work more enjoyable.
Yep, and you're right. Enjoyable. This is the right word, actually. So let's go forward. And it's not. We shouldn't review this list right now, guys. But this is the areas of application examples list. Yep. So on previous slide we have the ways, but here you have the areas. So this list we created together for your inspiration, for your intention, and to think a little bit more what kind of example you can use at your work. What is the specific of this example, etc. So you can use this list and Google just the examples and think about them a little bit more. And right now I pass the word to Jan to provide information about the first case of machine learning.
So the first case that I was working on many years ago was actually for one of the companies that was dealing with the ATMs and for the optimization of when to refill the money inside the ATM. Because the thing is, there's a lot of costs associated with delivering this money in those cassettes, because you need to pay for the courier service, you need to pay for the recounting of the money, and money that is frozen inside the ATM does not generate any revenue because it's just frozen in the ATM and cannot be turned over. Therefore, because of the effect of inflation, it decreases its value over a period of time. And at the same time, you would want to have the ATMs with the reserve of the money, so that only at the time of the reserve there is the refill, so that it's the most cost efficient and the most cost saving for the companies that are running this ATM. So you can look at this from this cost optimization point of view, that you take a lot of the information from the past, the historical values, when was the withdrawal from the ATM taken, and you teach the algorithm that potentially there are predictions that will tell you that you need to have the refill of the ATM. For example, in July it will be on 7th of July, but for example in August on 15, so on and so forth, just so that you will reduce the amount of the courier deliveries, so save time on this one, but also increase the security, because the less issue or the less interactions you would have with the ATM in regards to refilling the money or recalculating or using the courier service, the less risk will happen to that money. In addition, if you have a big list of the ATMs, like for example a couple of thousand across the whole country, you might find the most optimized route for the courier service to refill those ATMs, and that can also increase the time efficiency, right? So already you can see that using the historical data from the past 2 years, 3 years, you can predict what should be the future results, future outcomes, and future steps in regards to filling the ATM. However, also with one additional caveat, that if you will have a situation in which, for example, right now in my hometown, there is the open air festival, and suddenly there is 40,000 people more in the area of the festival. So you might have those sudden peaks that over the course of the year, the withdrawal of the money from the ATM is stable, and suddenly you have the peak all the way through the roof. So that's also something that you need to teach the algorithm to make sure that those random events would also be taken into consideration. So that's exactly something that we've been working on. That's something that we've managed to actually optimize, and we actually were able to reach the savings on the process in general of around 60% of year-to-year running of the operations. So you can already have a first hands-on experience on how we can use the machine learning algorithm with the benefit for our customers.
Awesome example actually, and in that example we can see, guys, the trend. Yep, that a lot of businesses just using the ML right now to optimize to get the data, the right data, and useful data and valuable data, applicable data to make the right decision. Great example. And also, I know that you have one more about AI. Yep.
Yes, so I'm sure each and every one of you were in a situation that you go to the tax office or you go to the city council or you go to any kind of department that you need to fill some kind of a form, and you have absolutely no idea how to fill the form, which form to use, what are the informations required. And for me, an interesting case was when I was applying for a visa to one of the countries many years ago, when the visa was still needed, when Poland was not a part of the European Union. And it was very challenging for me to select the right example of the document. But here there are possibilities that just with answering a couple of questions about who you are, where you want to go, what's the purpose of the trip, then the project that you can work on can provide not only the information about which document to use and which visa form to use, but also it can start pre-populating the data based on the basic information you have already provided, which can again increase the time savings of filling the form by yourself, especially if you have the same value to be provided in multiple areas of the document. It can be just repopulated automatically. But also by following this suggested approach by this artificial intelligence, you have the increased possibility of having the success of receiving that information in the correct way, so increasing the success rate altogether.
Yeah, that's also a great example. And I want to continue about AI, about my case. Yeah. Imagine, guys, that you have the short period of time, and during that you should find out a huge massive of information, find out, analyze them, and analyze it and provide some kind of conclusions, and based on that conclusions provide some kind of model of the system. So my example of AI usage is the next, that imagine that in European Union we have a lot of countries, and each country has some separate practice in some area, and you need to collect all of them, compare, and provide this model or this approach based on all of these practices. And in that case, AI helped us to find information. This was really quick. We saved we saved more than 3 months of our work. I mean, work of BA's team, and we also got some kind of good results of AI analysis, but not at the first. But not during the first time of this analysis making, when this analysis was made. But why? Because you need to know how to use AI tool correctly. Because really, first 2 tries was bad. But step by step, our team tried to use this AI tool more efficient, more in smart manner, etc. And we were starting to get the good results of this analysis. So we saved the time. We increased teamwork efficiency with AI usage. Example in that case, and this was the cool study process, not in theory but on practice. So that is also great option and ability.
And I think also here is when we had that workshop about the data analysis and learning from the data, it's also a very good example of the fact that when we are teaching the intelligent algorithms the way of thinking and we provide the data, we also need to learn by ourselves how the intelligent algorithms work. So it's a cooperation and collaboration between AI and human.
Absolutely, and I want to add, thank you, Jan, for this thought, because I want to add one more interesting thing. When we were making analysis of this bunch of information, we found out that AI provide a lot of mistakes because of huge massive of information, and this some of this information, some part of this information was valid, some part of this information was not valid. So guys, please control the results as well. And you see that, as Jan mentioned, and absolutely agree with him, that AI and human cooperation provide the great results, but in smart manner. And the next case of ML usage, machine learning usage, is about one Ukrainian bank. And this bank provides a machine learning algorithm. This algorithm was created for this bank as the client. First of all, to help the people to transform their behavior. Why? You can imagine, guys, when you have some kind of level, when you have some level of costs every month, and you have a habit to spend maybe not optimal amount of money for something, and when your system, your banking system, just don't provide to you the correct analysis, you can't mention that fact because it's a habit, it's unconscious habit. And you just spend a lot of your personal resources in non-efficient manner. So that is why, for example, this machine learning algorithm just provide the option of cost prediction and modeling when you enter to the bank client system, and you can see in that system not only the graph of your costs, but you can see the great statistic, how much you spend on the food, how much you spend on the sport activity, how much you spend on the healthcare, and not only amount of the things, but this algorithm analyze your behavior. And for example, during 1 year, this algorithm can provide to you the trend of your money usage. And you know that this thing help to save the money for people, and people bring some part of this money in bank system or in that bank on deposits, etc. So you can see the good combination of machine learning usage and, for example, psychology effect and economical effect as well.
And I think also it's very important here to mention that when, for example, you are doing this multi-payments every single month at the same time, that it can also inform you in advance that you have an upcoming payment, ensure that you have the right amount of money in the account so that you will not be surprised with the situation that suddenly, the electricity is cut off or your mobile phone doesn't work anymore, right? So you have that information as well.
Yeah. So that was our case study part, and I think, Jan, we are ready to go forward with the next one.
Definitely.
Pros and cons, guys. The most interesting part of this presentation, I guess, pros and cons, because any kind of tool, any kind of system, any kind of approach always has its own pros and cons, always. So let's start from pros. Let me start this part, and as you can see, we also made for you guys, for your attention, some kind of cloud image of pros. And you see a lot of them on the screen, but I want to highlight 3 the most interesting, in my opinion. So first of all, decision making. I talked about that because the right decisions provide the right results. We need to understand that decisions provide the actions, actions provide the results. So we need to know that decision making is absolute cornerstone of business and work efficiency. And the next one, I think that this is some kind of business process automation. Yes, AI and ML just help us a lot in that question, and this is save our time. We can save our time, we can save our money, we can save our efforts. And of course, actually, the most interesting for me, the third one is innovation support. Why? Because technologies will born new technologies, and this is a cycle. That is why this is the most interesting part, because it's always connected with the future step, future vision, future opportunities and possibilities to do something. And all other things are also important for us, and you can see them on the screen. They pretty understandable and simple. So pass the word to Jan about cons.
Yeah, so I will be the bad cop, playing the with Dmitry the good cop bad cop approach, because I see that there are, of course, the benefits, and I've been working on projects that brought benefits when it comes to usage of AI and machine learning in general. However, I also see a couple of mistakes and a couple of issues. Already we received a question in our YouTube channel. Again, thank you for that question, and we encourage to ask more about the ethic aspect of the usage of the artificial intelligence, and whether it will not take over our jobs, right? I'm kind of safe about this, because for the AI to take over our job, our customers will need to provide clear requirements, and that's not necessarily always happens. So we are at least still there to clarify that. However, we need to keep in mind that the data that the algorithms is using, and the information that it has is, and the response that it provides is only as good as the data it gets. And sometimes if the data is not good enough or not clear enough, the artificial intelligence is also learning from the bad examples as well. There is also the human factor of using the artificial intelligence. There was this very huge issue with, I think it was Samsung back in the beginning of this year, when there was a huge leakage of secure information provided to the ChatGPT. And of course, ChatGPT states that they are not storing any kind of a data. However, how much can we trust what company says, right? So that's definitely one thing that we also need to consider. And also in general, if we will go without any kind of second thought towards artificial intelligence and machine learning, we can become more and more dependent on the algorithms, more and more dependent on the machines, and not necessarily we might stop thinking by ourselves. And there's something that I heard some years ago, that we are becoming slightly more and more the society of smartphones, smart TVs, smart cars, but not necessarily smart people, right? It's a risky statement. However, we really need to keep in mind that whereas it can help us going forward with our work and help increase the productivity, we still need to have a bit of critical thinking, and we still need to have a bit of reserves, because where, for example, instead of being the creators of the work, we can transform ourselves to be more of a reviewers. We still need to do that review to make sure that what is the outcome goes through our validation before we will share it more openly and more widely in our solutions that we provide.
Absolutely. So guys, please don't forget to use these pros and cons, and to think about them a little bit more when you will be alone at your work, and or even more, please discuss these pros and cons with your colleagues and your managers as well. And must-have skills, the final slide about AI usage and machine learning usage as well. So let's start. let's start from this list of, in our opinion, in our common opinion, we provide to you guys not all the skills that you need to have, but the most critical skills that you should train. Please, this is a huge difference. Yep. So train on the permanent basis, because AI is a great tool that help you, but without these things, you can't be more productive in interaction with AI.
And I think here very important aspect when it comes to those skills is they really do not differ that much compared to any other projects that you've been working on, because in any case, when you are assigned to a brand new project, you need to adapt to the new environment, new tools, new situations that you will be facing, new stakeholder engagement methods, or new culture that you'll be facing, right? You also need to be curious about, when you join any kind of a new project, you need to be curious about the domain itself, you need to be curious about the processes. Here, this is a brand new technology that we use, so you need to have the motivation in yourself to actually investigate that more and to analyze that more. And that's why it also comes in hand with this critical thinking. You receive the response from the artificial intelligence, you receive the response from machine learning, but don't take everything for granted, don't take everything as an oracle. It's really important to have a double check, have a review, verify whether the trends provided from the output of the algorithms is with the alignment of the market visualization, with the alignment with the customer expectation. So definitely those are the skills that we very much encourage to develop in yourself. And I think in general, as EPAM, we are very adaptive. If we wouldn't grow to a company of such a size, and we wouldn't be able to have a conversation on this topic with so many experts who actually adapted to the new environment and to the new world.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to add to the words of Jan just a couple of things. So, guys, you can see that the first triangle was made, so critical thinking, curiosity, and adaptability. And the second triangle is the productivity, creativity, and ability to study and analyze. And this triangle is also extremely important. Why? Because your creativity depends on ability to study and analyze. And the ability to study and analyze depends in the big it depends very much, I can say, from productivity level, from your productivity level. And this triangle provide to you actually inspiration as well. The first triangle provide to you not only inspiration, but provide to you the right habit to act. And this combination of these two triangles can help you to be alive in era of AI and be always on the wave. And we think that this is really separate topic, how you could train these six skills. I think that we can prepare in the future with Jan separate talk about that. And actually, I think that is all from our side for today. And you're welcome with your questions.
Definitely. Any questions that you might have, we are happy to answer.
Absolutely.
So we have few questions. Interesting. We already have answered some about ethics, which was one of our questions, and we have some interesting quotations from the one is the AI is just more than like another invention with electricity or internet. The core difference here is the potential of the autonomous decision making, which sounds very interesting. And we have also another information from our audience that worth noting, that there are two types of artificial intelligence: narrow intelligence, AI, and general intelligence, AGI. And most tools we know are actually ANI. and it's not all artificial intelligence tools are designed to require human intelligence, as someone noted here. So let's come to our questions, other questions. So we have here a question about you mentioned studying when AI trends on BA work. What tips and sources of knowledge would you recommend to improve our skills? Especially, we need to accommodate daily project routine that are totally different. It's challenging to be assertive, going to the right sources among tons of information. And we have also related question. How accurate artificial intelligence can become in assisting big business analysis. These are related. What do you think about?
Dmytro, would you like to start?
Yeah, sure, no problem. So, in my opinion, guys, I think that you need to be oriented on big companies. Yeah. So a lot of courses of AI usage just was created by, for example, Google, Microsoft, etc. And please stay aligned with that courses. Also, I think that we can highly recommend to you guys to see to browse some kind of information in LinkedIn, in professional social network that also can help you. And for sure, please don't forget about the Amazon source. I mean, first of all, the literature. You know, this proverb that people who read in the books will be always aligned with the practice and will be always on the edge. So please don't forget that, because maybe a week ago I saw on Amazon a lot of interesting and new books about AI. And especially, I want to highlight our external BA newsletter for all business analysts in the world who want to get this information, for example, about the interesting sources, books, etc., from EPAM company. So please don't forget about that as well, because in the last this week we provide this newsletter, and we were provided this newsletter, and in that newsletter we have just some recommended sources about AI as well. And we created a separate stream. You can contact with our representatives. You can join to this stream. You can speak with professionals and increase your knowledge.
And I think also to add on top of that is, I would say, the more you will read, even if you've mentioned that there is tons of information, it's difficult to find the right one. But even when you write or when you read information about the pros and the cons, and articles that praise artificial intelligence, machine learning, artificial that goes against that, it can help you decide your own approach, your own idea, and your own risk. So it's definitely good to see the both areas, the both spectrum, not only to focus only on one or the other, because that way you will be able to have a more generic view. And to give you just one example why it's useful to have this brighter point of view, there is an interesting case in the world of physics that one of the professors received the Nobel Prize for some kind of theory, proven theory, and around 45 years later, his son received the Nobel Prize for disproving the theory of the dad. Right, so potentially it's worth to see both sides of the coin. I've mentioned at the very beginning of the presentation, and I would like to finish with that I mentioned about Dr. Andrzej Buller, and when it comes to machine learning, he actually wrote a book saying with the title "Artificial Brain: No Longer a Fantasy." So definitely that's something also that we can kind of look into that, and just consider investigating the knowledge of machine learning from the point of view of that as well. And really, there is tons of information available, and The knowledge in general is the currency of the 21st century. The more you will learn, the more you will know, the more useful it will be for you in your future career. So definitely there is never a wasted time and investment in developing your skills and abilities.
Yep, absolutely, Jan. You provide the gold quote. Yep. And I just want to add only one thing that, guys, don't forget to monitor our social media of our BA community, actually, global BA community. So we have LinkedIn page, we have YouTube channel, we have Facebook, and there we will provide on a permanent basis some kind of information about the books, especially in AI area as well. So don't forget about.
And we hope to see you again on future conferences, future talks. And be sure to like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And definitely we'll see each other in the future.
Yep. And stay with us. Everything will be interesting.
Thank you very much, our speakers, and thank you, the audience, for watching and asking your questions. So also, please remember our recording will be ready in 1 week from a conference, and also you can feel free to propose the topic for next conference. The Menti information will be shared in the chat. Thank you very much, our speakers. Again, it was very interesting. So please let me announce quickly the next presenters we will have in a few minutes. It will be Minesh Vatkama and Anna Ustinova with the topic how ChatGPT can affect BE work, quick wins in daily life. Very welcome, everyone. Thank you for your time and attention. Thank
Thank
you.
you, guys.
Take care, everyone. Bye.